Apparently there's a lot of great diving around Isla Mujeres, but if you're trying to save a little bit of money, you can also just go for a snorkel, and the underwater world is also really beautiful to see. We took the kayak and we just went around the corner from the anchorage, and it is really beautiful. There's lots of fish. There's tons of barracudas. It looks as if they feed them and they just stare at you and kind of like don't want to go away. So that's a bit scary, but the rest of the fish are really beautiful and nice, and it's not very deep, so you can easily dive down and enjoy it all. Like a little floating island that this Englishman built just from old plastic bottles. After we'd cycled around the island once, we decided we were going to do a second little trip to some of the places that we hadn't seen yet. So we cycled to the little peninsula that's on the west side of the island, and we went to this little beach. Most of the peninsula is covered with big resorts and hotels and bars, but we found this tiny little path to this beach where there is no one at all, and we sat down and we had a beautiful picnic and we're watching the tourist boats cruising by.
That's the popular one.
That's the budget. Well, the question is if there is any regulations.
Yeah, I don't mind music.
After our little lunch break, we cycled to the other side of the island, where there's a little village, which is not quite as touristy as the rest of the island. We strolled with our bikes through the streets of that little village, and there's tons of dogs. Like, everyone had a little dog barking away in their garden, and most of the people were out in the front of their houses and were smiling at us and laughing and saying "Hola, ¿qué tal?" and asking where we're from and how we are. So we had a little chat here and there, and it was just interesting to see the houses and see what they used to build them from. They all look really different, and they have been really inventive with all the materials that they could gather to build their own home.
La mamá. Sí.
Movernos junto con las maestras. Por favor, papitos.
I love that the kids are so proud.
Entre todos los demás y un poco envidiosa. O cuestión de socialización y desenvolvimiento, lo cual es muy importante.
What the hell?
in the crowd. Let me get real so I can turn the party out. So tomorrow afternoon.
Today we're doing a little bit of land adventures. We decided to rent a car, and so Maria and Maria's parents and me went over to Cancun and hopped into the car and went all the way down south towards Tulum, and then a little bit back into the country again to some ruins, Coba, some Mayan ruins. And they're like in the jungle, and they're one of the few that you can actually walk on the top. I gotta pay extra for my video camera. Nice job, Harold. Well, we got a little bit lost looking for the one that you can walk up to, so we're walking a fair bit, but in the end we got there, and it was a really beautiful view from up there. So we got a little bit delayed because of that as well, but then we stormed back to Tulum, which is one of the few, or maybe even the only, I don't know, Mayan ruins that is actually along the coast. And this is where we're right now in Tulum, and it's called the Temple of Dawn. And it's really beautiful, and it's interesting because it's very different from the one that we saw before. It seems much more filigrane, and all the pillars are like kind of like round instead of square, and well, obviously it's at the ocean, which is really pretty. Yeah. We're just exploring, checking out what's there, and trying not to get our brains burned out too much.
We did do a lot of sacrifices at the
Time is flying like usual when I have people coming to visit me, and it's already time for Maria to head back to Panama and to her boat Joanna. And it's time for me to start preparing Karl and me to the trip over to Cuba. But more about that next week.